people, and you say, yo lo hago por mi gente. Oh, para mi gente. All right, ready? I do it for my people. I do it for my people. Awesome. Okay, let's do it all together. Are you ready? Minnesota. Presente. Minnesota. Presente. I do it for my people. Yes, thank you.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me from the back? Yeah? Okay. Feel free to come closer. Don't be shy. But I don't know if you guys are aware, the Minnesota legislator had a special session, and they decided to end yesterday. But the laws or bills that did they pass anything? They did not pass anything. So they're clearly not listening to the demands of the people. And that is why we are here at the steps of the Capitol to let them know that we will not rest until we seek justice. I would like to welcome our first speaker, Pablo. He's from Asamblea. Please welcome Pablo.
¿Cómo están todos? So how's everybody doing today? Aren't you angry that the Senate didn't do anything about police brutality? We need to get ready to show them who pays their bills, who pays their food, who sends their children to school. We need to let them know. So we need to keep organizing, not only rallies, but we need to keep organizing in our different cities where we're coming from. My name is Pablo Tapia. I'm one of the founder of Asamblea de Derechos Civiles. And I'm standing here in solidarity with Mirac. So please give a round of applause to Mirac for putting this great event together. And for standing with immigrants all the time for year after year after year. Thank you very much, Mirac, and all those that support immigrant community. So I'm going to ask you something that we use in Asamblea. We say, Minnesota, sí se nota. 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 Okay, I think we lost a little bit of sound. Okay, but I'm ready to keep going, so let's keep going. So if you all in the back can get a little closer. I know that it's kind of warm here, but the vitamin E from sun is good for your body. Okay? Entonces, okay, entonces, hello. Okay. So Minnesota. Minnesota?
Sí se nota.
Minnesota?
Sí se nota.
I can't hear you. I don't hear you. Minnesota?
Sí se nota.
Minnesota?
Sí se nota.
So we're standing here because we are pissed off at these politicians that have done nothing for us, especially for us people of color and for immigrants. We've been abused and traumatized not only by ICE at the border with our children, but we've been traumatized in our neighborhoods by ICE coming and invading our houses and homes and dragging our parents and sisters and brothers out of the beds and taking them into the night and getting them lost. And that's not acceptable. Is it acceptable? So we gotta keep organizing and standing in solidarity with each other. You know, there's a great opportunity out of this tragedy that happened to our brother George Floyd. We Latinos, we're standing with George and and the black Minnesotans that have suffered the same police brutality that us Latinos have suffered for generations. And we know because when the southern lands of Texas and Arizona, and all that part was taken away from Mexico, was robbed, they created what they call the Texas Rangers to brutalize and to terrorize our communities, to keep stealing the land of our ancestors. And 160 plus years ago, that happened. And now it's still happening here. Now they come into our neighborhoods and terrorize our children, terrorize our fathers, our mothers, and especially today, that is Father's Day, many folks, many of our brothers are in jail unjustly. Many of them are sitting in a cold cell, being exposed to COVID-19, and being in danger of dying from it, because ICE does not want to release them. And they don't want to release them, you know why? You know why? Because there's a lot of money in the private prison system. They're profiting from us. They not only profit from us in the border incarcerating our children, but they're profiting here in Minnesota. You know, the sheriff's departments like the one in Sherburne County that has no decency at all. They keep expanding the prisons, so they can keep tearing families apart and housing unjustly our brothers and sisters. So the best thing that we can do now is to fight, stand up and fight back. So here's my question for you. What do we do? Stand up? Stand up? Stand up? Stand up? What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! So as we get ready to march, let's make sure that we make a lot of noise. Yes. And I'm going to repeat it again. This is not an event. This is a movement. And the oppressors started it many generations ago. But we're going to end it. You know, I want to live in a society where we can have our grandchildren that probably want to join those departments that are guarding the security of our communities. Because I'm envisioning I don't want to use the word police department, but I'm envisioning a department that is grateful and that serves the community. I'm envisioning an officer that is welcome in every home because everybody knows him. I'm envisioning an officer that respects every family in the neighborhood that they patrol because they treat him with respect. Yes. I'm envisioning an officer that can have breakfast with our communities, with our youth, without harassing them and treating them like criminals. That's what I envision. I'm envisioning a police officer that instead of coming and responding to us, putting us in the back of a car when we need help, or when we're reporting a crime against us, instead of putting us in the back of a car, he comes in and offers to help. Yeah. Yeah, with respect. department, that we all can feel proud of it, and that we all can call communities servants, and that we cannot even tell the difference between them and us. That's the kind of department that I've been using. That's why I think that we need to abolish the police. We need to abolish ICE. Abolish ICE, abolish the police. Abolish ICE, abolish the police. Abolish ICE and abolish the police. So what do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Minnesota. Sí se nota. Minnesota, sí se nota. Minnesota. Sí se nota. Minnesota. Sí se nota. Minnesota. Sí se nota. Thank you.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
All right, everybody, we have an awesome speaker. Oh, and thank you so much, Pablo. That was awesome. Thank you for everything you said, all the chanting. Yes. So up next, we have Sumaya Aden. So Sumaya is the sister of Isaac Aden, who was killed by the police in Egan last year. She is a refugee who fled Somalia during the Civil War. Thank you. Does anyone know what yesterday was? Anybody? No, that was Friday, but close. What was Saturday? Anybody? Yes, World Refugee Day. And we can't even celebrate it with a clean conscience because of the state of refugees in this country right now. Our children are in cages. We can't even celebrate World Refugee Day here. So I'm really glad that we're all here together. We're taking action against it, and we're gonna hear Sumaya Aden speak now. So thank you so much.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. My name is Sumaya Aden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aden, and I wanted to come out today to show my solidarity. My brother, I just wanted to come out and support in solidarity because the state is separating families in more ways than we even could imagine. We came here in September of 2006, and we came here for a better life to escape the Civil War, and my grandmother wanted to provide us with the opportunities that we didn't have back home, and she wanted to give us the American dream, but we left the Civil War and came here to deal with a race war, and that we didn't choose to. My brother was a 23-year-old college student at the University of Minnesota studying IT and infrastructure. He would have been class of 2020. He was also, in addition to being a full-time student, he was also a banker at Spire Credit Union in Roseville. He also, on the side, in December of 2017, opened up his own home care business called Adenex Home Care. Regardless of his accolades, he was a human being first, and he should have been here. Because had he not been all those things, his life wouldn't have mattered any less. For the past few days, I've been going out and protesting, and in cities like Bloomington, I'm so happy to see people step up and call out these departments and hold them accountable, because there is no crime in the state of Minnesota that warrants a death penalty. And no one, and I mean no one, is illegal on stolen land. We're tired of the propaganda. We're tired of always being seen or put out in the media as the criminals, as whatever, when the U.S. has done more harm to our countries than we can even imagine. They forced us out of their countries to come here, to murder us in the streets, to put us in cages. and it's time we speak up, and it's time we hold these people accountable. I am very, very disappointed in the people that hold offices back here, because they have done nothing, absolutely nothing. For the past year, since last year, July, we're approaching the 1-year anniversary. We have been protesting. We have been putting in data request forms, data preservation letters, everything that we can possibly think of to get the body cams released, to get information regarding that we're lawfully entitled to. But none of that matters. It doesn't, the harassment and the violence doesn't stop after they murder your loved one. Because even after they murdered my brother, we have majority of our family lives in Europe. Our aunt from Amsterdam flew 18 hours to Minnesota just to be sent back and couldn't even attend my own brother's funeral. These things are like, you can't make it up. These are our lives, and we need our white allies to speak up. We need you to use your body, use your voice, use your feet to come out, to speak out every single time. We need you to amplify our voices. We have been fighting like hell for the past year, and nothing has changed. You saw yesterday, they adjourned the meeting without coming to any conclusion. Not one. People are still getting murdered. In the first 20 days after George Floyd was murdered, 120 people were murdered by the police. Kobe Heisler murdered by the police in September or August 31st. It's been 9 months. Body cams haven't been released. His killers are walking free. Same with Brian Quinones. Same with my brother's murderers, walking free. Breonna Taylor's walking free. Philando Castile's walking free. Jamar Clark's walking free. Cordell Handy walking free. All of these murderers are walking free in our own state, in our own backyard. It's so easy to say that, like, it's happening in the Jim Crow or in the South or whatever, but we're living in the Jim Crow North, and it's time we started pushing for change. I wanted to come out and show my solidarity in support of all immigrants, and even just me being out here. I'm a green card holder. I'm not an American citizen. I could easily, I've been targeted by the police. I've been pulled over. The chief of Bloomington Police has admitted to watching my social medias, and Mall of America cybersecurity stalking me, like just all of that. At any point, they could grab me at one of these protests and arrest me, get my green card status removed. So even me just being here is a risk. So I need you guys to come out and do more. This isn't enough. It simply is not enough. And I also would like to conclude with we have a rally coming up for my brother for the 1-year anniversary. It will be in Eagan. It's at the Outlet Mall. We're meeting at the public sidewalk by Saks Fifth Avenue at 5:30 p.m. So again, Eagan Outlet Mall, July 1st, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30. We'll be wearing orange t-shirts and gray sweatpants to symbolize what my brother was wearing that day. Somewhere down the line, we've lost our humanity and we've lost our compassion, and it's about time we started seeing each one of these hashtags as more than just a hashtag, because they leave behind grieving families. They leave behind family, relatives, friends that are hurting, that are traumatized, and we walk among you. We shop at the same grocery stores you do. We go to the same gas stations you do. See us, speak to us, hear our stories, amplify our voices, because my brother was more than just a hashtag. So please come out July 1st, Eagan Outlet Mall, 5:30 to 7:30. Please, if you can, wear an orange t-shirt and gray sweatpants. And thank you for being out here.
Thank you so much, Samaya. All right, everybody, we are going to do another chant. So, this one is going to be, all right, so a lot of people know this one. I'm going to say whose streets. You're going to say our streets. Okay, let's practice it. Whose streets? Our streets. Nice. Okay, let's do it. Who?
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, so our Yaya Flores. Oh snap, sorry. My bad. Okay. So Yaya is an out here DACA recipient from Mexico. Do you guys know what happened this past Thursday about DACA? So, just so you guys know, that is not a win for DACA recipients. It is a temporary solution. Yaya's going to share her experience as a DACA recipient, so welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Daisy. I'm here joined by my little sister, Jackie. So yeah, my name is Yaya, and I'm a DACA recipient, and today is Father's Day. And there's many of us who that do still have our fathers in our life and whatnot. But this day, like, I'm fortunate enough to have our father with us today, but I can't say the same with the rest of my family. In September of 2019, they deported my uncle. He was a father to 5 kids. In January of 2020, they deported another one of my uncles. And this isn't like the first or second time that they've been separating my family. And it's more than just my family. It's to all the families that get separated by ICE, who can't enjoy the day of Mother's Day or Father's Day, birthdays, holidays, because they can't be together. And it's already hard enough knowing that there's already a pandemic going on and we can't be together because of health reasons. And I just remember, like, being my sister's age, and I'm the oldest. I'm the only one with DACA, so I'm fortunate enough that my brother and my sister are U.S. citizens. And isn't that crazy that you're, like, just the status of being a U.S. citizen can bring someone a peace of mind, or it's not even a peace of mind. Like, it's a privilege knowing that you don't have to think about that every single day. I remember growing up, understanding what it was like to be undocumented at the age of 4, what it was like to be scared of door knocks. My mom and my dad, they would tell me what to do if ICE knocked on our door, what to do to stay silent, to still be in the shadows because of fear of deportation. Growing up, I was scared of the police because I knew that they were connected to ICE, that they are the connection, that bridge to separating families. And that is what happened with my uncles. Because of traffic stops, because of those things, that is what continues to separate our families. And I just wanted to shed on light on that because I still don't know how to process that. I still don't know how to process death. When someone dies across the border, you can't mourn them in your motherland. You were not able to do that. And many of you may know what happened with DACA, and as Daisy said, it is a temporary solution. And it is a small win, it's a small victory, it's a peace of mind for the time being. But if you've been following with what UCIS is saying and what Trump is saying, like, he will challenge DACA again. He will challenge to end it. And I'm so happy to see so many people showed up. I'm so happy that my little sister is here showing up with me because that means so much. And I hope that there can be one day, if I'm not able to see justice being served, I hope my sister or the younger generations can see that, when not only DACA recipients have a pathway to citizenship, but the 11 million undocumented immigrants here one day will have that peace of mind. Our parents They're the original dreamers. Thank you.
Are you guys ready to march? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. When refugees are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. We're gonna start marching now. I would like for you guys to follow the banners. The banners are going to be the lead. Understood? Okay, thank you. Stand up like that! Stand up like that!
defund the police, okay? No justice, no peace. Defund the police. 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 No justice, no peace. Defund the police.
When I say fuck 12, you say Tina Anita.
Pretty quick slide. All right, for family.
Like I said up there, my brother's killers are walking free. Breonna Taylor's killers are walking free. Jamar Clark, Philando Castile, so many murders that have happened in the state of Minnesota where the officers are still walking free. So, no justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
police, no justice, no peace. Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, louder.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police.
Fuck 12.
Take it to the streets and fuck the police.
Okay, so this next chant, we're gonna say, indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict,
Send those killer cops to jail.
the whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail.
The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail.
This is the sign you end up with massive
what do we want justice, when do we want it now, for who. We're going to start off with George Floyd, and then we're going to move on to Breonna Taylor, so I'll lead you guys along the way, so stay with me. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
For who?
George Floyd!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say his He was murdered by Egan and Bloomington officers July 2nd, 2019. So when I say for who, we're going to say Isaac Eden. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! For who? Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Louder! Isaac Eden! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! For who? Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Louder! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! For who? Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! For who? Isaac Eden! Say his name! Isaac Eden! Isaac Eden! Isaac Eden! Isaac Eden! Stand up, fight back! 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 No, when I say abolish ICE, you say abolish police, okay? Abolish ICE!
Abolish police!
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 Oh yeah, don't disperse. There's more speakers at the Capitol, so let's keep on pushing. Let's keep on chanting with our whole chant. Okay.
We don't get no justice!
They don't get no peace!
We don't get no justice!
They don't get no peace!
We don't get no justice!
They don't get no peace!
If George Floyd don't get it!
Shut it down!
If George Floyd don't get it!
Shut it down!
If George don't get it!
Shut it down!
Nice job.
I'm going to welcome our first speaker. The wife of Brian Quinones is going to share her story. Her husband was unfortunately murdered by the police last year, so give it up to her.
Hi, thank you everybody for showing up and showing out. Weeks later, we are still at this. This is exactly what needs to continue to happen. My husband was Brian Quinones. He was murdered in Richfield, Minnesota, September 7th, 2019 by 5 officers, 2 from Edina, 3 from Richfield. I have since started an organization called Justice Squad. And we've been going around to all the events trying to get people to be the change that we want to see across the country here. And also with my friend Tashira Garraway, she had lost her fiance to the St. Paul Police Department. His name was Justin Tigan. He was brutally beaten and thrown in a dumpster and ended up at the recycling plant in Inver Grove Heights in 2009. So since then, Samaya Aiden, who was here speaking earlier, all of the families here, we have Gabriel, a lot of our Native families here in solidarity. We are all unifying and getting ourselves together to be with unity and solidarity for all of these events. And we are really trying to get the community to come out and support us while we're here for the movement, because we know exactly what needs to be done here as we are living the stories that you are reading. So we have an event here. It's going to be the largest national movement in Minnesota. It is July 12th. It is called Take a Knee Nation, and you can go to takeakneenation.org, or you can go to Justice Squad MN on Facebook. Take a Knee is also on Facebook, and get more involved with things that are going on, because we have a ton of events. A lot of the families are raising money because we personally are trying to fund for every family that's lost a loved one to the hands of the police to come to Minnesota for the largest national movement in Minnesota's history, which is July 12th. So we did start a GoFundMe for that. It is 100% donated to getting these families from across the country here for a healing workshop. We're going to do a vigil, and then Sunday we're going to march to right here, and there's going to be a ton of vendors and sponsors and stuff that are going to be out here with food trucks, etc. So if you know anybody with local businesses, you know anybody that wants to sponsor, any donators, anybody that can contribute to this event, it is literally for the families of the victims that are killed by the police here in this country. So if we can all collectively come out in big numbers for the support, we need to replicate our movement across the country, because Minnesota is definitely setting the tone for it right now. This is called Ground Zero, so we just need to be out here in numbers and show support for this country and be the change that we need to see here. So once again, thank you, thank you. And I just like to close mine out with one chant. So when I say justice, you say squad. Justice, squad. Justice, squad. Thank you.
No peace. No peace. Yeah.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
We're figuring out some technical stuff. That's why I'm yelling right now. Sorry.
No, we can't hear you. Great.
Okay. Minneapolis.
I want to first of all just greet you all with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you all today. I wanna ask you a simple question. Are you here today? I'm not sure. Are you here today? Are you here today? Most important thing we need to do right now is show up. That is the most important thing we need to be doing right now. And I want to say to all of you who are here, this is our movement. This is our time. We will not be going back. And I want to tell you, we got to tell the truth. And the truth is that we are in this moment because of failure. We are in this moment because of systematic and history that led us to this moment. This country has been guilty of separating families from the inception. And if we don't tell that truth, we can't move forward. Since whiteness landed on this land, they have been separating children of Native Americans all over this land and creating a genocide that we see today because this land is stolen land from Native Americans. And it didn't end there. It was just the beginning, because the enslavement of African Americans in this country, the worst thing that they have done in this country is to also separate children at that time. This idea of separating and dehumanizing people is in the blood and the history of this country. And today, while we look at what's happening all over this country with mass incarceration, where they have used laws to criminalize poverty in this country, that have taken black and brown people from their families, and today we have the largest concentration of people in the world today in prisons. That is the reality. And what we are seeing today with immigration in this country is a continuation of telling those lies and completely forgetting our history, a history of brutality in all of its corners. And we need to stand up and tell that truth. And we need to own up to our failures and our mistakes, because we're not going to move forward if we don't recognize we are part of the problem. And in this moment right now, the worst thing you could do, as Dr. King said, is sleep in a revolution. There is a revolution going on right now, and you better not be sleeping in the revolution as it happens. And I'm telling you, we are changing Minnesota nice. We're not going to be Minnesota nice anymore. We're going to be a Minnesota fighting for justice. That's what we're going to be known for. The revolution has started right here in 38th in Chicago when they killed our brother George Floyd, and they did not know they have awakened America. They have awakened all of us, and we are united more than ever, and we're going to stand against all signs of oppression wherever we find it. And I'm going to let you know, Democrats and Republicans have failed us. That is why we're here today. That building behind us right there, that is a sign of oppression. That is a symbol of oppression that has been oppressing people of color in this country and in state. The policies that have been created there are the policies that killed George Floyd. And instead of bringing meaningful resolutions and policies in this moment, they have not brought a single thing forward today. They went home when we are on the streets. And I'm letting all of you know right now, we did not choose this moment. This moment chose us. And we better be able to stand up, because I believe if you sit at home and you think you're going to be alone and not being judged, I'm telling you, there will be a day of reckoning in front of God, and God will be asking you, where were you when George Floyd was killed? Where were you when you saw injustice? And I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people that are now conveniently putting signs that they support black lives to save their building, to save their little business. You have been looking out at injustice and you failed us too. And now you put up a sign thinking that that's going to protect your building. If you are interested in fighting for justice, make it happen. Make it happen. It needs to be everyday thing. It is not a moment of just on Facebook, on social media, or just showing up to a protest. We demand justice by any means necessary. We demand justice by any means necessary, because it is our lives that we are fighting for. That is, we are fighting for the lives of the unborn. We are fighting against oppression that has built itself in every facet of our society. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're not Native American or you're not enslaved African American in this country, you're an immigrant. Tell it like it is. You are an immigrant. You came to this country like just all of us. This country doesn't belong to you any more than it belongs to every one of us. And so when we talk about immigration, we're also talking about white people immigrating here. We ain't talking about other people that immigrated here. You came here and destroyed. We came here and built this country. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of white people right now that need to recognize whiteness is what we have been fighting against. But you are allies right now. And you need to have those tough conversations with your loved ones and your family. And you need to model that there's a change in this country. You need to model that the status quo is no longer the same. You need to model that from now on, you're part of the revolution and you're going to deliver the kind of justice that we all need for everybody in this country. And for all the people today that may not hear our voice, who are in concentration camps in this country, in prison cells all over this country, the families that were separated at the border, we tell them in this moment, we are here for change, and we will not let this happen ever again. We will not give up. We cannot give up, and we must not give up this fight. Minnesotans, you need to keep coming out here, because I guarantee you are part of the problem, not part of the solution. If you're not out here, you're part of the problem. We demand a justice system that is from the police departments to the county level, to the state level, to the federal level. We need to dismantle this entire system bolt by bolt, and we need to do it together. We need to create a system that values human life, that perpetuates peace in this world. But we have in this country chosen a system that perpetuates violence wherever it is. Whether it's our military, you thinking about our police departments, think about our military. We spend more money on guns and violence than protecting our own children in healthcare and protecting our own children in schools. This is what America is. We send more MiGs and fighter jets to the rest of the world instead of sending peace. And guess what? Right here in our own cities, we spend more money militarizing, criminalizing poverty in this country than protecting and enlightening and educating people. That's on all of us, folks. That's our tax dollars. That's all of our votes that got this country where it is. We are part of the problem. We need to admit that. We elected these people, these fools that couldn't get anything done. This moment is our moment. If you want a true revolution, we need to be able to gut this entire system one by one, and we need every single one of you. And lastly, I really believe we are going to win. I believe we are going to win. Statues are falling. They're a little symbolic. But I'm going to tell you something. There's more that is falling. There's more that is crumbling. And I'm going to tell you, we are going to win. Say it with me. We are going to win. We are going to win. We are going to win. Vamos a ganar. Vamos a ganar. With that said, lastly, if you show up to a protest by yourself again, don't. Bring the people. There are people who are a little uncomfortable about protesting right now. We're going to be safe in this pandemic, but we need to show up on these streets. The whole nation is watching what we will do here in Minnesota. And if we fail, this failure will not be the kind of failure we will ignore. This is the kind of failure that will impact all of us. So Minnesota, this is our moment. This is our moment. This is our moment to do the right thing. And we have the moral courage. We've got the right people. And for all the young people in this movement today, you need to lead us. This is your time. This is your time. Stand in front of us, lead us, and let's make this happen by making change and by demanding for justice by any means necessary.
No justice. No peace. No justice.
No peace.
Okay, I will let Zarlash introduce our next speaker.
All right, so thank you, Jelani. Our next speaker is Gabriel Black Elk. Gabriel is a member of the Lakota tribe and lead organizer of Native Lives Matter. Gabe's brother was murdered by the police, and he is here to share his story. Thank you. Give it up for Gabe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriel Black Elk. I am the brother of Paul Castaway. My brother was killed in Denver, Colorado by the police department out there during the mental health crisis. When my mom is the one that called the cops. My mom, was looking for help for my brother. And when the cops came, my brother took off running from the house. And my mom and the cops chased my brother into a trailer park and cornered him, where they shot him in front of 3 adults and 18 kids. And so I'm standing here now in solidarity with all the families here, and to let people know that we're also standing in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and with MIRAC. We stand with you guys. We're standing with you. No, I just wanted to, say something and to let you guys know that, us Native Lives Matter, we stand in solidarity with all the Latino community here. And the way that I see it, man, this is our fucking land. From the top of Alaska to the bottom of South America, this is our fucking land. This is our land. And now that time's changed, we need to unify, and we need to show the world that we are unified here. And we need to show everyone, the whole world, what we're doing here, what we're standing for, what we're kneeling for. And we just want to let you guys know, we appreciate you guys coming out here and showing up. This is we're really appreciated as a family. And we're here unified to let you guys know, too, that you guys see that damn statue standing up? Not no more. We took that motherfucker down! And just want to give a shout out to the families of Billy Hughes and Phil Quinn. They were murdered. They were Native people who were killed by the St. Paul Police Department. And we are here in solidarity with all the families here, like I said before. But we just want to let you know that we stand with the Latino community, the Black Lives community, white community, everyone that's out here. We stand with you in solidarity. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Thank you, everybody. Next up, our final speaker of the day. Okay. So it's Daisy. Daisy. Okay, so Daisy is a MIRAC member and a DACA recipient. Right now, yes. She is an overall awesome person, and we are so lucky to hear her speak. Everybody who is looking for a way to help MIRAC, we who are hosting this, we have a fundraiser going on for DACA recipients. So we're helping out, we're funding applications. So please, if you are able, go to our social media, contribute to our fundraiser, support DACA recipients. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's give it up for Daisy.
Hi guys, so I wrote a speech. I'm gonna shorten it because of the rain. So yeah, let me start right now. The full? Okay. Okay, she's gonna help me hold it. Okay. So, the foundation of this nation is a pool of blood. The blood of the indigenous population who were brutally murdered by land-hungry settlers. The blood of Africans. Hello? Oh. The blood of Africans who were enslaved and treated like property. The blood of populations this country exploits, from the Chinese laborers working on the Transcontinental Railroad to the farm workers tilling the land. The immigration system is not interested in legality. It is concerned about controlling people, labor, movements, families, so on and so forth. Nothing is done without a purpose. Oh, and you guys can snap. You don't need a clap, just snap. Nothing is done without a purpose. The creators of the system know what they are doing. Politicians know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing back in 1994 when they implemented the policy known as prevention through deterrence. They thought that pushing people further away from help and closer to death was a job well done. They knew the policy was working effectively by the number of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and children who could no longer continue the journey to safety. I had the privilege of going to the southern border last year, as well as my fellow MIRAC members, and that was an eye-opening experience for me personally. I was not this loud before. But after that experience, I was like, why does Donald Trump have a platform to say the rhetoric that he's spewing, and I'm not able to correct him? So I will use my voice, or I started to use my voice from that day forward, and I hope you guys can do the same.
Yes.
So since the year 2000, approximately 3,000 people have died at the border, but those are only known deaths. There's a lot more people who have died at the border, and guess what? The government does not have a policy to go to the border and search for people who have died. Local organizations are the ones who took it upon themselves to find the remains of human beings. These are human beings, you guys. These are not animals that live in the desert. The government is doing nothing, so they clearly do not care. This country only cares about profiting off of people. The cruelty does not end there when immigrants are coming to this country. They're met with chains and cages when they successfully make the long and perilous journey to this side of the border. They're also met by politicians such as Senator Lindsey Graham, who wanted... Last year, Senator Graham wanted to extend the number of days children can be held in detention from 20 days to 100 days. They're met with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, whose job it is to rip families apart in the interior. So at the border, there's CBP, and then in the interior, there's ICE. We, the people, need to challenge the system from within and from outside. So that means become a lawyer, become a teacher, and then also do what you're doing right now by protesting and letting our voices to be heard. Hate has no color. Hate has no political lines. Hate is not just the individual who takes out their frustration with violence. Hate is the politician who uses their power to prey on vulnerable communities. That is why we are here, because we're demanding politicians to listen to us. We're not listening to them. We elected them. Yes! Hate is also the person who is complacent and lives comfortably as chaos unfolds before them. I talked about this so much, y'all. I live in the suburbs. Nothing is going on there. My hope was for people to come to the suburbs and create chaos because like they're so comfortable and it's so like I don't like it. I don't like it. Our communities are the ones that are hurting. They should feel the hurt and feel uncomfortable for just a little bit. We can do better. We must do better. Through this work, we must be united and work together. Division is the enemy of progress. Remember the following African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go oh, my bad, let me do that again. So the African proverb is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Oh. So I majored in sociology of law during undergrad, and I minored in Afro studies at the University of Minnesota. I learned a lot. That's where my eyes honestly opened, because in high school we didn't learn about like reality and things that are going on. So what I learned is that we have to outsmart the people in power. I don't care that politicians decided to take a knee in the halls of Congress. What is that going to do? I don't care that police officers are taking a knee before protesters. What is that going to do? Thank you for doing that, but that's not going to do anything. That's not bringing back George. That's not bringing back Philando. And I'm talking to you guys up there. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I don't care that politicians are signing reformative bills, and let me explain why. Look at what happened to enslaved Africans and their descendants. They were promised 40 acres and a mule. The United States government has never corrected the wrong of slavery. Never. This country continuously provides empty promises and turns their backs to communities that have been oppressed. Instead of freedom, institutions were established to ensure formerly enslaved persons would never have power. The writing is on the wall. The government does not care about us. We must look out for one another. As we rise, let's not forget our community. This is really important. We have to take care of our own people. So when you rise, look back and bring someone else with you. Beyond that, we should also be concerned about all of the injustices going on around us globally. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." When we are not concerned for the rights of others, we in return open room for our own mistreatment. But we don't realize that because we think we're safe. You're safe, but only for the time being. There will come a time when you will need someone to stand up for you, but you will be the last one standing, so who's going to be there for you? Remember the following statement. I always say this. Laws are not always just. Legality is not synonymous with morality. Laws are the arsenal of people in power. Look at the criminal justice system. We are living in what some call the new Jim Crow, which is a crafty system that has locked up communities of color and locked them out of society. With this new system, discrimination is no longer just based on the color of someone's skin. It now includes discrimination based on criminal history. So people are placed in physical jails, and then when they leave jail, they're also placed in invisible cells originating from rules and regulations that make it hard for people to enter back into society. So like if you're a felon, you're not able to find a job. It's very hard for you. And so some people decide to do things that are deemed illegal, and then guess what happens? They're caught up in the criminal justice system. It's a continuous cycle of being in and out of jail. So these people are crafty. They're crafty. That's why I'm saying that we need to outsmart them. I don't know what they're planning during this the special session, but I don't care. We need to demand what we want. And we need to say it loud and clear. I'm almost done. My people are dying. We are trying to breathe. But this country refuses to lift its foot from our necks. To my Christians, if there are any Christians out there, I'm going to call you out. I'm a Christian myself. Why are you in the pews when your neighbor is suffering? Why are you going to church when your city is burning? Jesus was an activist. I hope y'all know that. He made time to be out in the streets. I don't want to hear people talk about his death while they refuse to help their brother and sister who clearly need assistance. I'm going to share a Bible verse with y'all. Matthew 25, Matthew 25, verses 42 to 45 says the following. For I was hungry, and you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, and you didn't give me a drink. I was a stranger, and you didn't invite me into your home. I was naked, and you didn't give me clothing. I was sick and in prison, and you didn't visit me. Then they will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and not help you? And he will answer, listen to this. I tell you the truth. When you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were refusing to help me. From this day forward, let's make a promise to be our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, and our strangers' keeper. How you want to be remembered in history is up to you. The choice is yours. I don't need to know you to stand up for you. If I see an injustice, I should feel comfortable to correct the police. Y'all heard that? We should feel comfortable to correct you when you decide to kill our people. That's it. I'm tired. Okay. So the last thing that I want to say is that we need to do more than just protesting. I love protesting, but we should continue to show up and show out for sure, but we need to do more than that. We need to take care of our people. If you're a teacher, help your students. If you're an attorney, help your clients. Do what you can do. We can't all do the same thing, but do something more than just whatever, watching basketball or soccer. I forgot what I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember. So yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much for spending this special day with us. I just have a few announcements. There will be Indian tacos on Saturday and Sunday for sale. Yum! Also, Somali Independence Day is July 1st. There's going to be some events happening, really important events. Check it all out on our social media. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. And don't forget about the DACA fundraiser. Please, please, please support our DACA recipients. Help everybody fund their applications. Thank you so much.
We have one more announcement or reminder from our fellow sister here.
Hi, I spoke earlier. There's a lot more people now, but so I just want to reiterate what I said. My name is Samaya Aiden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aiden, who was murdered by police in Eagan, Minnesota on July 2nd, 2019. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of his murder. So we have a rally coming up in Eagan, Minnesota, at the Eagan Outlet Mall, 5:30 p.m. We're meeting up by the public sidewalk by Saks Fifth Avenue, and we'll be marching down to where he was actually murdered. We're wearing orange t-shirts and gray sweatpants to symbolize what he was wearing. If you want more details on the event, you could also go to Mirac's Facebook page. They're co-hosting the event, as well as Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar, Justice for Isaac Aiden, Justice for Brian Quinones, Native Lives Matter. There are a lot of co-hosts, so just check it out on Facebook. Come out, support 530 Egan Outlet Mall. That's it. Yeah.
And I want to remind you guys that Egan is a suburb, right? Egan is a suburb? Yeah. Okay, so we all need to go there and make noise and disturb the peace. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for coming.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching and for sharing this live stream. We're on the steps of the Minnesota State Capitol for a big rally here put on by MIRAC and a couple of other organizations. But we're gonna head out quickly because it looks like there's pretty stormy skies right now. Thanks again for watching and sharing.